Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from the bunker. Um, in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave his inaugural speech, and the first couple sentences of that speech could have very well been given by Donald Trump just a couple of months ago. And even though Roosevelt was had different issues going on, some different issues, uh, his words really apply to the situation in this moment. Um, so, so this is the first couple sentences from his speech, the inauguration. Right? He said, "I am certain that my fellow Americans expect that on the introduction to my presidency, I will address them with candor and a decision which the present situation of our people impel. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth and the whole truth frankly and boldly, right? Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions of our country today. This nation will endure, and it has endured. It will revive, and it will prosper. So, first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So, why am I saying that now? Uh, because fear is exactly the tool that the Democrats are using right now. They have nothing but fear. Let me remind you, as I have reminded you in so many videos in the past, that fear and lies, and of course the lies that go along with fear, right? Because the lies are what cause the fear, right? The lies that they tell call the fear. Fear and lies have always been the tools of the Democrat Party to remain in power. And it started back in the days of slavery. Let's not forget that the Democrats were the party of slavery, and the first Republican Party freed the slaves. And when the Democrats lost, they do the same thing. They did the same thing that they always do when they lose. They cheat and they spread fear. So when the Democrats lost the Civil War, they spread fear. They invented the KKK. That's when they decided to invent the KKK, right? Because they said, we'll show those old ex-slaves. We'll make them scared to death. We'll make them stay on the plantation, and we won't let them vote out of fear. That's exactly what the Democrats did. That was the entire purpose of the KKK, was to spread fear among the newly freed slaves, and also among those whites who would you know uh, the abolitionists in the South. Fear. That's the whole point of burning crosses on yards and burning churches. Fear. All right. And then you move into later times and segregation and the Jim Crow laws. And this is all the work of Democrats. Fear, fear. And today, what are the tools that Democrats use for fear? Well, they they have a great tool at their disposal, which is the fake news media, or we should call them now the legacy media, the ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. Even though they don't have hardly any viewers anymore, and even though people have still, there's something about the old legacy aura or right reputation about those channels that still sort of lingers on in the American mind, and Americans have not fully come to fully imbibe the fact that those nobody watches them, and nobody should even pay attention. Nobody should care what they say. Nobody should listen to them. Nobody should pay attention to them because all they do is lie and spread propaganda. And so, as I said, they are the handy tool of the Democrats to spread fear. Why? because they spread the lies that cause the fear. Look at, I could go back, I can give you tons of examples, but the most recent one, the most recent example is probably the greatest example. Elon Musk. Elon Musk has exposed the corruption and the treachery and the immorality of the government spending off the hook. And what did the Democrats do in response? They try to spread fear and lies about Elon. Oh, he's trying to take over. Oh, he's trying to destroy democracy. Oh, he's trying to steal money. Steal money. How does exposing corruption equate into stealing money? You know, he's just a rich man who's trying to do the right thing. You know, these Democrats, they just, their hypocrisy is just astounding. First, they say that the rich, they hurt America and they don't actually help America. And then when you have a rich man who comes along who's trying to help, he's trying to get rid of waste and fraud and corruption in the government so the spending can come down, we can balance our budget and things will get better. And what do? They attack them. Why? Because they are the corrupt people that he is shining a light on. So they're spreading fear. Here's another tool that they're using to spread fear, very similar to the KKK tactics. All right, they are paying gangs of idiots and morons to go to town hall meetings that happen to be run by Republican Congress people, and they're going in there and disrupting. This is a combination of a KKK tactic and a Nazi tactic. All right, so the KKK tactic is they go in and they spread fear, mobs going in and disrupting and stuff. And that's also what the Nazis used to do. If you ever watch those old films of the Reichstag, which is the German parliament, during the days when the Nazi party was rising, but they hadn't come quite to full power yet, but they had a lot of members in the Reichstag parliament. That's what they would do. They'd jump up and down and scream, just like the Democrats did in the last State of the Union. They disrupt. You go back and you watch every State of the Union address from whenever they first started filming them, like, I don't know, was that the 30s or the 40s? Up to, I don't know, George Bush or something. And it was always decorum. Not anymore. Now that the radical Democrats have taken over, they act just like Nazis in the State of the Union address, and they disrupt and they cause trouble. That's what the Nazis did. They act, come on, man. Get a load of these people. But they spread fear and lies. Look what they did to Trump coming up to the election. And like I said, it didn't work because nobody listens to the mainstream media. But what's the fear they tried to, when all else failed, when they couldn't put him in jail and they couldn't say there was an insurrection, and they lied about Russia, Putin, and collusion, and they lied about his taxes, and they lied and everything else, what was the final thing that they tried? The final fear-mongering that they tried? He's a Nazi. That's what, the irony of these people who act like Nazis calling Trump the Nazi. These people who are anti-Semites and anti-Israel calling Trump the Nazi. These people who murder millions of innocent human beings through abortion, these Democrats, they call Trump the Nazi. The hypocrisy and the ability to accuse the other person of that which you are guilty of, the ability of the Democrats to do that is just mind-boggling. And as I said, they are assisted by their friends in the fake news propaganda legacy media. So again, fear-mongering. So what did they say coming up to the election? Trump is Hitler, Trump is a Nazi, Trump is going to destroy America. Trump's going to destroy democracy. You know, he's going to throw the homosexuals in jail. He's going to throw the transgenders in jail, right? He's going to take away women's rights. And I mean, it's fear. And thank God the American people, even though nobody actually specifically said it, somehow the American people figured something out, which Franklin Delano Roosevelt said in 1933, which is the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. The only thing you have to fear today is the fear and the lies being spread by the Democrat Party. Look at Elon Musk. His company just did something that the big bloated bureaucracy of NASA with all the waste and fraud and blah, 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 and woke shit and DEI hires could never do. He just rescued our brave astronauts in space. And the Democrats hate him. This man just literally, this is the stuff of Hollywood movies, man. In fact, there was a movie, I think it was back in the 70s. I can't remember what it was called, but it was very interesting. It was an American, like an old Apollo capsule or whatever was in space, and they couldn't come down, and they were all going to suffocate. And they tried to launch a rocket to get them, but they failed. I got to figure out the name of this movie. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out the name of that movie and put it in the description of this video. They tried to rescue him and failed. And then at the end of the movie, it was very sort of a twist. There was a Russian little Soyuz, I think that's what it's called, was orbiting the Earth, and it diverted path, and it came to the rescue. And I think one of the Americans had died by then, and he rescued two of them, or he was able to rescue one of them, or something like that. So they weren't all rescued, but in the end, a Russian guy. But that was a very good 70s movie, a 1970s movie. So this, what Elon Musk did is the stuff of Hollywood movies. The man's company literally rescued astronauts in space. Not long ago, that could have been a Hollywood movie. And the Democrats hate him for it. They hate him. Is that unhinged? Is that insane? Come on, man. The Democrats, they're through. The game is over, man. Your covers are pulled. You have nothing. Nothing. The Democrats have no solid policy that any American would be interested in. The Democrats do not have one single government policy, whether it's international policy, military policy, foreign policy, domestic policy, immigration policy, you name it. The Democrats don't have one actual solid policy that the Americans like. Not one. They want illegals to come over the border. They don't want to get rid of criminal illegal aliens. They're mad at Trump for getting rid of criminal aliens. They're mad at Trump and Musk for exposing fraud and waste. Right? They don't even understand the whole tariff thing and how they don't. Of course, they don't understand economics anyway. Most of them, half of them are socialists, and the other half are morons and dopes, either bartenders or some fucking idiots who don't know shit about economics in the first place. But you have a businessman like Trump who totally understands that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to keep it this short because all of my videos have been going over. But that's the message for today, is to remember what Franklin Delano Roosevelt said. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. And the only thing that the Democrats are offering up to the American people is pure fear and hate. Fear and hate. That's all they have. You cannot name one single solid policy, a tax policy or an education policy, or you cannot name an actual real solid policy, right, that the Democrats offer up that's any good or that people are interested in. Trump's got them all. Immigration policy, foreign policy. He just negotiated. What? He's in the office 4 months. He just negotiated a ceasefire. Did senile Sleepy Joe ever negotiate a ceasefire? Trump did it in 4 months. It's a temporary ceasefire, but it's a start. The killing stopped. That's what matters, right? The killing has stopped. Isn't that what matters? Trump's not destroying democracy, man. Trump is saving it. He's saving this nation. Let me tell you something, man. Before I close this video, just a quick message to you. And you may laugh at this and you may scoff at this, but this is the truth. Once upon a time, there were some men. They were visionaries. They may have been inspired by God, possibly. They said that all people are created equal. 300 years ago, in a world ruled by kings and czars and generals and emperors, where classes were drawn and caste systems were drawn, and you could not cross over from one to the other. These men said that all people are created equal, and that their rights come from God, not from men, from God. And it is the duty of shit. It is the duty of government to protect those rights. It's not the duty of government to decide what your rights are, or to make up phony, fake rights. It's the duty of government to protect your God-given rights. These men were visionaries. Now, why does man have to protect your God-given rights? I'll tell you why. Because there are always evil men about who will do evil things and try to squash your rights. I bring you slavery and the Democrat Party. And a great man rose up, the first Republican Party, to free the slaves. And a great wrong was righted. And along the way, other wrongs were righted, because people aren't perfect at first, but they strive in that direction. Good people strive in that direction. That's what life is all about, is trying to be better and leave something good behind, and try to do the right thing. And that's what freedom is all about. Freedom doesn't, people who think that freedom means you can just do whatever you want to do. That's not the purpose of freedom. That's called license. There's a difference between liberty and license. Have you ever heard the word licentious behavior? Engaging in licentious behavior? That means that you think you have license to just do whatever you want and fuck everybody else. But that's not what freedom's all about. Freedom isn't being able to do whatever you want. Freedom is being able to do the right thing and have the freedom to do it. So when someone's doing the wrong thing, you can do the right thing. My freedom of speech allows me to stand up against the freaks who are destroying the lives of children with all these pronouns and genders. I have the freedom to stand up and say, you're wrong. there are man and woman, and there are only two genders. And all that bullshit is wrong. You are wrong. Now, you can try to cancel me and call me a hate monger, but I have the right to speech. I have free speech, and I tell you you're wrong. You're a liar. Okay? That's the purpose of freedom. It's not to do whatever you want, but to do the right thing. Just remember that. So, please like and share my video. Please subscribe to my Substack page. I appreciate it. And just remember, Trump's victory was just the beginning. The war is on. Do not sit back and rest on your laurels. If you got out and you fought and if you got out there in the field and you fought to get Trump elected, you don't, just because Trump got elected doesn't mean it's over and you go back to doing your daily whatever you did before. It's on. You stay in the field. You get more Republicans elected. You get more Republicans elected to the state house, to the Senate, to the Congress, local level, mayors, city council, school boards. If you already got all Republicans on those things in your town, good. Now you can start up a group like Moms for Liberty or something else. Something, whatever, right? You got to keep going because they're going to keep going. And the war is never ending. It's a guerrilla war. It's a war between good and evil. And the war between good and evil is immortal and will last forever. So you can never let down your guard. You have to keep fighting. So please like and share my videos. Please subscribe to the Substack page. And I will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.